Good morning and welcome to our Wednesday Wellness or Wellness Wednesday. In that order, today is checking into yourself and self-caring day. We encourage that not as a selfish thing, but as a part of your being well. So many of us check into others before we put priority into ourselves. And how do I mean that? Just so that you're clear on what I'm saying. I'm saying to you that you must remind yourself that you too must be on the list of self-caring. To worry about everything and everyone else is not doing yourself a favor. Because sometimes we have to prioritize. Prioritizing is going to be the subject of our discussion today on Wellness Wednesday. Where do you fit when it comes to prioritizing yourself, your well-being? Priority. What are your list of priorities? If you are a mom, then as a mom, you are a person that will see about your kids first. Yeah, that's important. Let there be no mistake when it comes to that. But real priority is what is important to you. Where do you lie with priorities? What are they? If I passed a list out to you personally, what would be your priority in defining it? And we're going to talk about that. When I say to you, what is your priority? What am I saying to you? And thinking about it. What is important to you? What is urgent to you? What is the things that you think about as priority? You know, a lot of us haven't learned to rank ourselves. How do we feel? Where do we place ourselves when it comes to priority and prioritizing? What is important to you? Do you value yourself as being important? And we are taught in life, which is true, that we should think about others. How do you place that in your life? Good morning, Trish, and my personal apology to you as I signaled for us to come on and then something happened. So I apologize to you.
Good morning.
I want you to think about getting your priorities straight. And as I'm talking to all of you, because we know you're listening, I want you to think about getting your priorities straight. And we're going to think about it as the most important to the least important. And we know that many of you feel that you are least important. How many of you feel like you are least important? Let's talk about that. Because if you're feeling like you are less important, are you going to be on your priority list? A lot of us work 9 to 5. We really do. There was a song about working 9 to 5, and by the way, that is our song for today. Because it makes sense. When you think about the line, there's all taking and no giving. You go to work, school, you have to take care of responsibilities in the home. If you are married, if you have children, if you have a husband, you prioritize those. And I want you to know that this is not about selfishness, but I want you to think about you having the privilege to take care of yourself. I'm going to use me as an example. Now that I am for reals an empty nester, where do I fit? I run here, I run there, and everywhere I go. But then when I tire myself out and I am depleted of giving and I need to rest, how do I rest? I'm going to turn that around to all of you with many responsibilities, and I'm going to ask it to my co-host, Trish. Good morning. How do you rest?
I usually rest by either going to sleep or doing something I like to do that doesn't feel like I'm working.
Okay, thank you for that. And that's a question that I want to ask to all of you. How do you rest? What do you choose to do? Or are you recognizing that there's all taking and no giving? Your priorities, how do you set them? When we think about our time and the order of the way that we do things, does that spell out to you priority? You know, because a lot of us aren't structured. And I'm not here to tell you that you should be structured, because some of you heard that, but that's not what I said. Time and order, how do you do that? Is that first, second, last, or not at all? You just do it as it comes. And I'm going to respect however you're going to do that. But what is your keys? Today we're going to think about keys, and we've done this in other ways. We're going to draw keys as to where and what comes first. Our priority is what we set as of importance. What is important versus what is preference. You know, Vibe Facing the Lion podcast is of importance to me. But I'd rather be on the beach, walking in the sand, and I can do that and do this too. So what is your preference? Because sometimes we have to look at that. Some of us own businesses while others of us have to report to work. Whatever the case is, we are at this consciously, and we do it without thinking, without being told, because we know that it is priority to some of us. Now, when we think about our personal life, what are we doing with our time? The order. I'm a spontaneous person much of the time, and I like spontaneity at certain times. Like if I want to drive out to the beach, I used to do a lot of that. Especially when I was married, I loved to go to the beach. Hey, let's go to the beach. And if we had time to take off, we would do that. And this is speaking out to so many people. Your time, your order of doing things. Uh, I appreciate for so many that you all are busy people. Would you say that you're a busy person, Trish?
I would say that's kind of 50-50 for me. I'm busy sometimes and sometimes I'm not.
Yeah. What are you putting into your priority? What comes first? A lot of you, your cup of coffee, your cup of teas, your Starbucks before you can even start up is priority. And you have no problem saying that. That is part of self care. But is it priority or is it important? Only you can answer that. Well, what matters to you as we talk about important? What is it that really matters? Some people say my parents matter. And I hope for all of us that we think about our parents. But then that's the time and the order that you have to think about. Parents are always important to us. But then you have others that maybe don't have such a great relationship with their parents. But here's something that we should check in on. Whatever is important in your life is what you do. Would you all agree with that? And Trish, you may jump in at any time. But what matters more to you? Trish, what matters to you?
What matters to me is a lot of things matter to me. My faith, that's the first thing that matters to me. My creativity, and also my family, my pets, that's also family. So, and also my career and my education. That's what matters to me.
And thus and so forth. When I think about what is important to me, I think about my children. I think about, of course, my belief. You're not going to take that from me because I am a very spiritual person. And there's nothing you can do or say but respect that. Amongst that is worrying about my mom's health or worrying about is she going to be okay, and the podcast. Now, what do you have the right to do when it comes to your prioritizing things? What do you have the right to do? You have a right to choose. Do you all know that? You have a right to choose however you want to live, whatever you want to put in that is of importance. What is it, though, that requires in your life as priority? Is it urgency? Preference? Are you taking the lead in whatever you're doing? You know, we all wish that we could do this. We all wish that we could do that. Going back to our personal life and our personal priorities, thinking about what is important to us and how we view it. Because we're all going to have different listings. You know, I like hard work. I'm a person that thinks about hard work. As I think about hard work, I know that my time is valuable when I'm working. But I want to ask you something. How many of you set aside time for you to do something as preference? You know what that means? After you work a little, you're able to set aside some 15 minutes of your time. Is it always work, work, work? Because you owe. Are you willing to sacrifice a little time to be able to check in on yourself? Because I find that we are not doing that. We're not doing that. When we think about our priority, we just talked about what that means. What does it mean for you when you think about the priorities? You as a person, and let's talk about you and me. How do you view yourself? What do you think that you are to yourself? Are you a person that needs consideration? Are you a person that needs immediate attention? Are you deserving of being first priority? And with that I mean, are you the type that come with needs, wants, or does someone have to deal with you being first and foremost? Because there are some people that require that they be the first and foremost. Everybody does not wire that way. How do I mean that? Trish, how do you think I mean that? Let's get some things on that.
You mean that some don't view it that way. Some aren't. They didn't really train their mindset to view things in that way. Meaning uh their process is probably, I don't prefer to prioritize my time. I don't have time for that. I don't have space for that. I don't see me fitting that anywhere. While others are, I must do it. I must fit in that time for me, or that space where I need to prioritize myself. That's what you mean.
Yes, thank you so much. So, are you top priority? Number one, you know, people say, I'm number one. I hear people say that. And I hear a lot of couples say that. I'm number one. So if I'm number one, then I want to be always expected to be that number one. And you might be because you are the priority. But let me ask you, and I'm going to keep asking this, are you priority to yourself? Does that mean that everything else gets out of focus? Are you your main concern without being selfish? Because, see, for me, I started to realize that my health is very important. The older I get, the more that I need to prioritize. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? So my health right now needs to be number one. My own health. Every day we ask you guys, especially on Wednesday Wellness as a check-in, how are you today? and you say fine, and you say well, or you say I'm good, great, okay. I want it to be for you when you say I'm okay. What are you saying that you're okay with? I want your being okay to be prioritized as to what do you mean by being okay? Because if I ask you how you're doing and you say okay, what does that mean? You know, people could be saying that for various reasons. I say, hello, how are you? You say, I'm okay. What are you okay with? Are you okay with if I just uh, talk to you any kind of way? Are you okay with the way that someone has treated you? Or are you okay with, before you even got here, that you had to have somebody road rage you? So I want okay to be more of a I'm okay with. And how would you say that if you say okay? I'm okay with myself. I'm okay with how I have, well, when I say I feel okay, and when you say I feel okay, what does that mean? How do you mean it? Speaking clearly, making your okay be more of a privilege, more of a right, and moving into action of what I'm going to do about this okay feeling. Everybody get that? Being okay. Prioritizing doesn't mean that you've got to be different. If everyone has a list right now, you're going to prioritize whatever it is that you see fit. And if I ask you all to do it, how would you manage it? How would you prioritize yourself? Because what I'm saying here right now is not selfishness, but rather something that is going to help you be able to fix your wellness, your well-being, your getting well, and your staying well. And we talk about this. Do you view yourself as simply getting by? Do you view yourself as something I need to do better? And that's something that I need to do better is check into my health. I've had a series of tests done. Thank God I'm well, but I have had neck pain. And I'm willing to forego the neck pain to just get by, and that needs to be prioritized. What in your life needs to be prioritized? Doesn't need to be second best, or I'll do it when I have time, or oh, that's nothing. I want you to know when you are prioritizing to view yourself as I need, I want, I will. Okay. Need, want, and will. See, my neck is a need because I've been in pain since Sunday. And I keep ignoring it, and I want to just give you a little bit of that so you understand. But when will I take care of it? Does it have to get so bad that I can't get out of bed? What do I want for wellness? Because there are some of us who are like me, and I keep ignoring it, and I keep ignoring it until something says, uh-oh, you need to get this checked. Am I really putting myself and prioritizing myself? Because sometimes, and I want to go back to what you all might be saying, well, are you, Miss Nisi, you're saying to be selfish, to put myself first. No, I'm saying to prioritize. Prioritize. Whatever your first thing is, whatever your first focus is on, are you being that and doing that? And then aligning yourself and your health and your well-being as on that list. Some of us are at a urgency. We need to be able to self-care. It is urgent for some of us. How many of you have been in a dirty house? Ever saw someone, we're not going to name drop, but if you've ever been in a dirty house, including your own, if that's the way it is, do you view that as a safety or an urgent? Ensuring that my priority or your priority should be, let me clean the house. Because see, cleaning up is part of your wellness. Or does your brain look like the house I just described? A mess. Is that your sense of urgency to say, I need to prioritize cleaning my house? Sometimes I will put things on the list and on the list and on the list, and it never gets done. You know why? Because it's not a sense of urgency. But when we have a sense of urgency to do something, we get it done without thinking. It's like if I had a broken leg. Am I going to wait to go to the doctor? Or do I think about the priority, the attention? Does it need my immediate attention, or shall I wait to go later? And I'm being very serious with you guys because I thought about this in our prioritizing. Are we keeping up with ourselves? I use the dirty house because sometimes people don't realize that that is part of your well-being. How many of you want to walk in a clean house? No dishes in the sink. The house is clean. Versus, I really didn't have time to get to the dishes, and I'll get to them the next time. And we all do that. But imagine if we said that about every room in our home. Imagine what our house would look like. But we prioritize. Prioritizing is like this. Maybe you don't have the time or energy to clean or to declutter what is going on inside of yourself. But as you know, we're all layered. We're layered. Our brain is layered. Our mind, our skin. It's going to take a lot to get to the bone of our bone. We're in layers, so it's like compartmental. Everything has its place. And you certainly have a place. When we think about top priorities, primary focus, main concerns, are we a duty to ourselves, or are we essential? What would you say? Are we a duty to ourselves, or are we essential? What would you say, Trish?
I would say we are essential to
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. I would say that because if we make ourselves a duty, it doesn't really show that we value ourselves. It just becomes a something that it's like it's my job, but it's not because I care. So that's how it looks like if we're just a duty to ourselves.
And I would have to agree with you. Thank you for that. Do you care about yourself to give consideration? Because a lot of people are giving consideration to others while they become a sense of duty. And the house thing that I talked about, I use that as an example because we all live somewhere. If you live in a tent, that's your environment. What is your environment saying to you? I've been with this neck pain and I think about like I need to wash. That is priority. If I don't wash, I'm going to have piled up clothes and I have nothing clean to wear. So I must take care of that. And so I did. I want you to think of yourself as a something to do, someone to do when you prioritize yourself. That is self-care when we prioritize ourselves. Just 1 minute. Lines are open, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you didn't know. And the number is 1-888-721-9260. When we think about ourselves on Wednesday Wellness and the checking in that we do, how many of you nurture your own needs? Like, I'm tired. How many of you have said that? Trish, have you ever said that? And those in the audience?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. But how many of you actually followed by, I'm tired? And you say it every day. You say that every day, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. That eventually you are burnt out. And you really have to stop what you're doing and rest. How many of you have done that?
I have.
Yeah, you have to rest. How'd that work for you? What's your experience with that, Trish?
I actually did that yesterday. I kept saying, I'm tired, but I did a lot of homework yesterday, worked on some music yesterday, and did a lot of things even though I was tired. I didn't finish until like 5:30 yesterday, but I was very exhausted. And then I kept saying, I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. I did not go to sleep. I went to sleep at like 11, 11 o'clock. That didn't do me well because I felt like I didn't get the rest that I needed when I woke up at the early time I usually do. So, yeah, that's how that went for me.
We're all about, thank you for that, Trish. We're all about connecting to ourselves, feeling connected to yourself. When we're feeling connected to ourselves, we stay in touch with our feelings. In other words, if you're saying you're tired, did you hear the word tired? Did you listen to your tired? How do you know when you're tired? Well, you reach burnout if you keep ignoring it, but you know you're tired when you have no energy to do anything else, but you don't rest. You don't rest. Listen carefully to your body. Reconnecting with yourself is to first be able to set a boundary. You say no to things because sometimes it's just necessary. Prioritizing your self-care means that you would have to pay attention to your mental, emotional state. That's getting connected to acknowledge, be aware. Because some of us are aware that we're tired. But there are some of us who recognize that we were tired and we drove, and that resulted into tragedy for some of us. Did anyone catch that? So knowing and doing is a big difference. I want you to reconnect with yourself by when you say you are feeling a certain way, like when you say you're okay. Remember that analogy? Well, I'm feeling okay. What are you okay with? Maybe your kid just ran into the street. And you say, I'm okay with that. I want you to start identifying with your feeling. What are you okay with the next time when you say, I'm okay? Because that really doesn't tell yourself anything, and it doesn't tell me what I'm asking. I want you to know yourself. I want you to learn yourself. When you say that you're tired, take a break. And that's why at our workplaces, whether you work for yourself or whether you work for somebody's, learn to practice self-care. If your break is 15 minutes, 45 minutes, spend that time being able to rest. Because when you rest a little, you're going to be energized to be able to finish what you need to do for that day. I also want you to be able to think about mental and emotional stress and how to de-stress. And this is where we're going to talk about the healing center. The healing center is all about that, and in a relaxation center. We feel it's so important that we're bringing it into the healing center. This is where you're going to be able to spend that time choosing to rest. And you really can come in. All you have to do is call the healing center. Hey, my lunch break is such and such. I'd like a quiet place to rest. Especially if you're near there. Even if you want to de-stress, is open for that. When we are able to think and focus and not compare ourselves to others, because my schedule may be different from your schedule, and my best time might be to rest at 5 p.m. on, because I'm an early riser. Maybe you're not an early riser, and your best time to be able to sleep might be late evening. I want you to be the creator of how you prioritize. Why is it even a discussion? Because today is Wednesday Wellness, and it will help you when you are full, filled, completed for that day. When you take time for yourself, you're actually focusing on yourself, reconnecting with yourself, and being able to set boundaries and being able to think about your prioritizing is going to be best for not me, but you. I want you to be able to think about, what do I need to do? When do I need to do it? Why do I need to do it? Prioritizing yourself is all about your wellness. We're taking on a lot, you and I, whatever our fields are, whether we're lawyers, whether we're part-time teachers, educators, whether we are part-time waitresses, waiters, bartender, whatever we're doing, we're spending a lot of time, but did we prioritize our own wellness? Being able to think about where you are with your mental and your emotional well being is not selfish. We talk a lot about self care. A lot of people say, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time. How many times have you said it or you've heard other people say it? They don't have time. As if they missed the bus or missed the plane. I want you to be able to acknowledge what it is that you don't have time for and see if you can't prioritize your mental and your well being, because it can be done. And everybody's going to have a different way. If I ask everybody to make a cake without looking, everybody's going to do it differently. But I want you to stay focused. I want you to think about the recipe that it's going to take for you to prioritize your mental and your emotional health. That is a reason of why people have emotional and mental breakdowns, because they just can't take it anymore. They've had too many too tireds, too many overwhelmness, too many is I just can't take another, too many filled cups and filled plates. They just kept taking it as if it were a buffet to skim through when they should have said enough. And by the way, when you say enough, I want you to be saying, while you are prioritizing yourself, your care, setting boundaries, you are enough. We overfeel in life, and many of us do this in life to compensate for something. And if we're doing that, or if you're doing that, what are you compensating for? Maybe you're overfeeling your life and less prioritizing yourself because nobody paid attention to you, or you feel the need to have this attention, or whatever the reasons are, only you know. But I ask that you think about it. When? How are you prioritizing yourself? This is all about prioritizing yourself. And if you're not working 9 to 5 and you're capable of your own time and your own hours, perhaps you work at home and you're able to set your own hours. That's great. But even then, prioritize. Stay focused on what it is that helps you to get well, stay well, and be well. This is your Wednesday Wellness. I am your host, Nisi Robinson, for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, and our co-host is Trish. And we're going to be right back in just a moment. We'll be right back. And Trish is going to give us Trish's treasures. We'll be right back. The Healing Center, it's open now for those of you who are interested in healing your mind, body, and your soul. The Healing Center is brought to you by Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We're open Monday through Saturday. You want an appointment, a one-on-one appointment, you can call in and schedule. As well, don't forget about our group sessions. Everyone is invited, and this is all done by donation basis. The Healing Center at Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast is at 1317 East Palmdale Boulevard, Palmdale, California. You can visit in office or by video. It's the Healing Center, the place to be. We're back, and now it's time for Trisha's Treasures.
When I was working 2 weeks ago, it was break. During break, I honestly didn't know what to do during break. When we were talking about this topic today, prioritizing, it just made me think about, wow, I didn't even know what to do when I had a break. And it's very shocking to me, and also it makes me aware as well, because maybe I need to find space to learn how to take a break. I thought I mastered that, but now that I'm reflecting on it, I need to work on it a little more. And the thing is, they kept reminding me, they're like, Miss Scott, your break is it lasts all the way until 12, so you have time. You don't have to sit here. You don't gotta wait in the classroom. It's okay. Take your break. And I was still tense. I was very tense. I was in my head. What does that mean? For those of you who don't know, it just means that I was still in my work mindset. I wasn't in my resting mindset. That I wasn't in there. I was in my work mindset. Even when I got sick last week, I was upset because I couldn't go to work. That was me. I was so mad that I couldn't go to work. I wasn't even trying to find time to heal, find time to get better. I was just hoping that, oh, if I get the slightest of well, then there's a 24-hour rule. So if I make it past there, then I'll be okay. I'll be fine. I can go to work. But it just progressively got worse. And I accepted it. I was like, okay, it's time for me to rest, go to sleep, take the medicine, stay hydrated, eat eat healthy, and take eat some oranges, eat some grapefruits, and just get some rest, and you'll feel better. And when I started doing that, I forgot about the notifications. I focused more on my well-being instead, even though it was hard to do because I love my job. I really love my job. And I am so excited to go back. I really am. And it's just the thought of missing and losing that. I don't want to lose that feeling. And the fear of losing that feeling overshadowed the fact that, hey, Treasure, it's time for you to get well. It's time for you to take a break. It's time for you to prioritize your well-being. And it just made me think about a past Wednesday wellness that we had. It was about valuing yourself. What do you hold value to you. And we talked about the analogy of the broken vase. And then because we value it so much, we put the glue where the cracks are and glue it together. And it's not broken anymore when we put the glue together and make it the value that it was when we got it, because it doesn't look broken. And that just made me think about the parts of me that I need to value, the parts of me that I need to prioritize, and make sure that I'm together. I'm put together. My mindset is together. And I hope you guys, when you're listening to this podcast today, I hope you guys think about prioritizing yourself, finding time in your schedule to prioritize the things that you love to do, or the things that you want to do, the things that you need to do, and the things that you will do. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Trish. And if you want to hear more of Trish's treasures, those segments are on our YouTube page. By the way, I'd like to ask of you guys two things. One is, if you didn't know that we have a YouTube page, please find us. We are Vibe Talk Facing the Lion Podcast and Healing Center. Please go there, subscribe. The other thing I'd like, if you wouldn't mind, is to write a review for our podcast. You can write that anywhere. We'd love to hear what you guys think. And please be serious about it, because if you write something really bad about us, we're not going to spend 2 minutes, not even a second, to read it. So you'd be wasting your time. So be gentle with us. If you really want to critique us, we want to hear those. We know when they're sincere and we know when they're not. It's important. It grows our channel. It also broadens our Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We now have, what is it, 91 viewers? And I'm so glad for that. I don't know what happened to our in sessions yesterday, because I did one live and I was really surprised at the turnout. But we'll do another one so you all can hear it. The Healing Center is our project from ground up. We want you guys to stop by. If you want to donate, we still need art supplies. We still need things for the office. And even if you donate $1, that is always helpful. Today is Trish and my day to meet behind the screens, and we talk about what we want to work on for the show, and she teaches me some things, and I hope I'm teaching her some things. However, we want you to keep doing what you're doing. Let us know where you are listening in from, because we're interested. For those of you who came out yesterday and you were on live with me on YouTube, it's real important about YouTube, because sometimes we go live. We also, not only are we live, but we want you to interact. And there was a lot of that going on yesterday. To the person that was sick yesterday, I hope you're feeling much better. And the only way you'll know that we're live on YouTube is to click your notification button, so every time we come on, you're there with us. Thank you guys so much. We want you to get well, stay well, and be forever well. Thank you guys. for listening to us always. We appreciate you so much. Can I just say that?